topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Are we okay, Rebel?
Yes, why?
Okay, well, I don't see Dr. Taylor there anymore.
You haven't introduced him yet.
Ah! We have a bad storm here. And we're supposedly maybe getting a hurricane this weekend. So things are getting funky here. But good morning. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. This is the first Wednesday of the month. I could literally spend 20 minutes introducing our expert who's been with us for several years. I am probably one of his biggest fans, Dr. Eldred Taylor of the Taylor Medical Group. And we talk about functional medicine, and we actually get into life stories too. Let me welcome you to Dr. Eldred Taylor.
Hello. How you doing?
Dr. Taylor, I truly meant it from my heart. I could literally talk about 20 minutes introducing you. And I read every one of your articles that you put out every week. And I got to tell you, your last few articles have really touched me because they're biblical articles.
Yeah.
And that just touched home with me. What I've learned, though, this in the last couple of weeks, Dr. Taylor, because we actually run your show, replay it every week. Today is live. And what I've learned is there's so many people who are finding your show. So if you don't mind, introduce yourself about yourself and your background first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I live now in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. Dad was a Baptist minister, so that's kind of the spiritual, biblical side of me. But I went to school here in Atlanta at Emory Medical School, so that's the science part of me. And so anyway, I practiced OBGYN for about 15 years and got interested in bioidentical hormone replacement. So I stopped delivering babies and doing hysterectomies and really started focusing on hormone replacement. And then from there, I got into functional medicine. And from there, I'm learning more about quantum physics and energy medicine. And energy is how you really connect back to God, okay? Because that's what this is all about. We're all energy and we're all connected. And that's all the stuff I'm learning from Joe Dispenza. And that's what I'll talk about because I just went to a 7-day conference with him. And it's unbelievable. All right. Joe Dispenza is actually a chiropractor, but since 2003, he's really been interested in how the mind controls the body and how you can think yourself sick and you can think yourself well. Is that if you think about all of the issues, my grandmama had this and I'm going to have that, and my sister had, and you start thinking, and you can think yourself sick. Okay, it's just like I know that when patients gave up their will to live, You know what they did? They died. Okay, is when
Wow.
you think yourself like that. And now what he is focused on is how you can change your mind and it can change your biology. And we wrote a book called The Stress Connection, which is really talking about how stress is connected to almost every part of your body, and that stress can cause distress, which can cause dis-ease. Okay, so we started talking about that 20 years ago. What I'm learning from Joe Dispenza is how you disconnect from stress. You have to get out of that fight or flight frame of mind, and you have to activate your rest and digest. That means your parasympathetic. Your sympathetic is your fight or flight. We're always in this state of fight or flight. We got to get to work. We got to do this. We got to do that. And it makes our brain disordered, and that disorders our physiology. If you can bring your brain back into order, it will bring your body back into order. And I saw it live and in person, where people who had muscular dystrophy could get up and walk, where people who had diagnosed cancers on X-ray or MRI, and within an instant, within that 7 days, they go back to the doctor and the cancer is gone. There was a episode that he showed us where this person had their thyroid removed, and she went and she started doing these meditations, and she started thinking that she could regrow her thyroid. She went back to the doctor. They did an ultrasound of her thyroid, and it was there. The doctor was frightened. He thought he had made a mistake in the surgery and hadn't removed the right gland. So he's going back to the pathologist to make sure he's going back thinking that the patient is going to sue him for malpractice for not removing her thyroid. She said, no, I meditated. I kept focusing on it, and my thyroid regrew. And the doctor still didn't believe it. So this is what is going on at these conferences. So let me just show you a video of what goes on there, and it's not exactly what you think. Let's see. I think this is the right one. So you think you go to a meditation place, and you're going to be on the top of
like
a
a
mountain.
concert.
Yeah, it's like a rock concert. So
Yeah.
he's all about energy. You have to raise the energy of the whole room. And when you raise the energy and you raise the frequency, people feel happy. They feel joy. And when you are happy, it changes your biology. You know that.
Yes.
Even if you're sick, if you watch a funny movie, you end up laughing and you feel better. So he's about raising the energy in the room. And you can raise the energy in a room, and you can make it so focused that if everyone is thinking that they want to send out healing energy, we actually did what they call a coherence healing. This was on one of the last days, where there's people there who want to be healed, and they lay down on the ground, okay? And you want to talk about biblical, how they brought their friend in and laid them down, and okay? So you put them down on the ground. You have 4 people on each side. There's a book called The Power of 8. When you have 8 people all focused on transmitting their energy healing to someone else, it's just like laying hands on a person. But anyway, you don't touch them. So we all did this. I was part of it. And you had to walk in. You had to have your hand over your heart. You had to be in this kind of sacred type mood. And you would go in and you rub your hands together and you touch, and you don't touch. You send out energy, focused thoughts, healing, love. Love heals. So you talk about that you love this person. You want them to heal. And you sing that all in your mind. And he's going to give us a report. Some people at the very end, they will tell you that, different conditions, their headaches went away, whatever. So it's a incredible experience. It really is. And even for me, we did 35 hours of meditation over a course of 7 days. Now, that used to be impossible for me. There's no way that I could be able to do that. The first couple of days when he was getting us to meditate for an hour and a half, it was difficult. But by that third or fourth day, a 2-hour meditation felt like 20 minutes because you are so relaxed. Time just passes and you don't even realize it. But I'm dedicated. That's what Athens Blueprint is all about, is I want to really understand how to help people heal. And being able to have normal lab results or normal hormone results or whatever, that's great. But what you really want is to be healed of all of the traumas that you've been through, all of the difficulties, all of the past experiences. You want to be healed from those so that it doesn't affect your present or your future, because that's what happens. We start to make judgments based on what has happened to us and not what we want to happen. And that's what I learned with that Reality Creator course that I told you about. And that's what I'm learning with Joe Dispenza, is that you have to separate your past from your future, because most of us are living the life of our past. So that's it in a nutshell. Now I can show you a couple of other things here.
Yeah, I wonder, how are you going to institute this into your current practice?
Well, I want to teach people. Let me see. I hope it's not going to start. Yeah, I want to teach people how important people, and I can't teach it. I just go by the way I learned it. I learned how to meditate by using this Muse headband, and I did my podcast right before this one, and I showed my results. And what it does is it teaches you how to get into that alpha state, that quiet state. And it does it by biofeedback. So what you do is you put this on, and you can either just focus on your breath, or then sometimes you can do guided meditation. And guided meditation kind of leads you in it, but I can do it without it. And what happens is when your mind is quiet, you hear it. Well, what happens is there's a background of like a rainstorm. So as your mind begins to quiet, the rain begins to soften, and then you start to hear birds. And the more you hear the birds, the more you know you're in this alpha state. And after a while, I would show you. I don't think I have it. Let me see. I might. After a while, what can happen is you can. Let me see. I think this is it. Yeah. See if I can show this. Yeah. All right. Oh, great. Here it is. So here's what happens. So this morning I had 87 birds and 2 recoveries. So let me show you what that means. So you see that star right there?
Is this a readout that you get?
Yeah, this is a readout I get on my phone. Okay. And so this is connected. So what happens is this is me starting. And you see how quickly I can quiet my mind, how I went from there to there, like within a few.
Yes.
That used to take me 5 or 10 minutes just to quiet my mind. Now I can do it instantly. Okay. And that means that my mind, all of these birds, it means my mind was quiet. I was in this alpha state this whole time. And then this is when it finished. So 85% of the time I was quiet. Believe me, that took a lot of practice. Okay. But in that state, I do this within the first hour when I wake up. It really calms your mind so that you can think about how you want your day to become. Because a lot of times we just wake up and we look at the news or we look at whatever, and that ruins our day from the minute we wake up. No, you quiet your mind. You get all of that outside noise out of the way. That's when you can connect, and you can connect with your purpose. You can stay focused on your goals if you start out your day in a quiet state. And that's so hard to come by because we have so many things. You got the TV remote right there. You've got your phone. You've got this. You've got that. Now, here's the other one, is this cognitive performance, is that as you get older, I'm going to be 65. My mother had dementia. So I want to make sure I keep this cognitive performance high. I think this I did it later in the day, and it's harder to quiet your mind. I didn't have a good day yesterday. But that's the other thing about meditation. Not every meditation experience is going to be great. Sometimes your mind is going to be a little bit too busy, and maybe you have to have more recoveries. But I would recommend this. If you want to meditate and you want to meditate and have a meaningful outcome, you need to learn how to do it correctly. And it's not about emptying your mind and not thinking of anything. It's about quieting your mind so that you can be receptive. We talk about how this is still small voice, and that's what, guides you. Well, it's hard to hear a still small voice when your brain is going a mile a minute. Okay, so this is how you hear that still small voice. All right, so we can go back. So I hope that's not overwhelming. This is a walking meditation. So we do some meditations sitting, some meditations lying down, and then this is a combination. He said, remember, I talk about you want to live your life in a meditative state. And so he wanted to take his meditations out and see if you could do it while you were walking. So we start out, he's talking to us, we're looking at the ocean, we're quieting our mind, and he's guiding us, telling us different things about, imagine your future, what do you want, all this. And then he says, okay, walk into it, walk like it's already happened. And you walk. And so now you're learning how to be meditative while you're awake and while you're functioning. And that's what I try to do, is to live my life in a meditative, calm state. And that allows you to be able to handle anything that comes at you with a little bit of grace and purpose. Okay.
Dr.
So,
Taylor, this is probably a pretty heavy question.
Okay.
When you get our age,
Mhm.
and you go, I've noticed that I'm seeing different types of doctors than I did when I was younger. Like I'm going
Yeah.
to a nephrologist or a
Yeah.
coronary doctor. And the forms that you fill out, I never understood until now. It said, have you ever contemplated suicide? Which I never have. But I got to tell you, I think one of the things that's helped me is I put everything in the Lord's hands. But when you get into your 60s and 70s, you read about people that may be a little younger than you or somebody you went to school with passing away. And you think about death more as you get older because you say, God, I can't believe this guy just passed away. I mean, he's only 2 years younger than me. And I can see where people start thinking about death different. Uh, Again, it's helped me just putting everything in the Lord's hand. He takes care of me, but how do you get a mature person to meditate to get all these negative thoughts out of their head?
Yeah, that's what I told you, and I apologize. Of course, right when we're doing this podcast, the landscape is right outside this window,
Always.
and it is always. I'm like, and anyway, so you're right. It's tough. It was tough for me, and I want to tell you that prayer is different from meditation.
Okay.
Meditation is looking inward. Prayer is looking outward, and
Okay.
both of those can work, but you need to understand that a lot of the changes that need to be made are in you. And you're right. That fear of death is a constant fear, and that is a fear that you have to get over. And I will tell you that understanding quantum physics has helped me to do that, is to understand that I'm just energy, that everything is energy. I came from energy, and I'm going to go to energy. And you can call that energy God. You can call that energy love. You can call that energy, but that quantum field is where everything is created. And everything that will be created is in that quantum field. You can use that energy to create anything. Again, that energy creates trees and flowers, and it created you and me, and we all are different, and you can create that. And that is why I became interested in this, because I had needed to get over that fear of death. And I will tell you that understanding this has really done that for me. And when you get over the fear of death, you are truly free. And that's what you're feeling was when you're saying, hey, I've given it over, you let go, and you just say, I'm going to trust that God or love, whatever, is going to lead me and guide me to where I'm supposed to go and to do the things that I'm supposed to do. And you have to get over that self-control, and you have to be able, you have to be more about controlling self than controlling the outer world. And that's where our stress comes from, because we're trying to control people and things and all these things. You have to let go of trying to control the outward part of you. You have to control the inner part of you, be able to control your mind, control your thoughts, control your actions, and control your beliefs. And we've got to change our belief about death. And we all talk about eternal life and there's life after death, but do we really believe it? And do you really believe that your soul is eternal and that your body is fleeting? It's going to go away just like the flowers are going to go away after spring is over. Do we really believe that our soul is eternal? And if you believe it, you're not worried about death. But I don't know how many people really believe it. They think that once they leave here, it's over, and they think that they're going to miss it. But I've gotten over that, And so, anyway, we talk about identity shifting, Steve, and I met you 3 years ago. I think we started this, and you can see I'm pretty much a different guest than I was 3 years ago.
Yes.
and that's what we talk about transforming, is to transform yourself into something that you want to be. And don't just think that where you are now is where you're going to be forever. You always want to be becoming a better, higher, a higher rendition of yourself. You always want to improve. You always want to expand. You don't want to get old and start to shrink and do less. And I'm sure, Steve, you want to do more shows and, more. You always want to be doing something. You always want to have something to look forward to, or it's no need for you to get up in the morning if you don't have something that you're looking forward to doing.
How are you going to teach others?
Well, in Ageless Blueprint,
our show's national now, and there's people all over the country. You're in Atlanta. How are you going to be able to teach this to people?
Hey, look, join my school community. That's why I created that. Join school, www.school.com/ageless. I have courses in there about hormones, about your gut, about your mind. Go there. I have courses that you can take at your own speed or pace. And then I have a question and answer every Tuesday. I'm going to start having more and more live episodes where we can talk about meditation. I can talk about books that I think you should read so you can understand this. So that school community is something I created so I could teach people from all over the world. I'm also become a little TikTok sensation. I've been putting some TikTok videos on, and I've gotten a whole lot of views. So on TikTok, I'm the Hormone Doctor. So follow me on TikTok. I do these little short videos. I try to explain fibroids and PCOS. Right now, I'm mostly talking about hormones, but I'm going to talk about other things. So I'm learning this social media world, and I'm trying to be out there to teach as many people as I can about
and
how
you have
to
your
heal
own
their
show
body.
too.
Yeah, and I just finished that. Yeah. So I have my Ageless Blueprint podcast. You can see all of those on agelessblueprintpodcast.com. I have a Substack where I put these articles out. So I have all of these Instagram. so I'll try to put these links out there. Again, I'm getting used to this social media
I
and
love 'em.
marketing world.
I love them.
And yeah, I'm starting to love it too, because you're able to connect with people that, you know, it'd be
Right.
impossible to connect with before. So yeah, I'm getting excited about this. Every morning I get up and think about what kind of podcast or YouTube video I'm going to do. So, you know, this is the way for me to expand beyond this little office in Atlanta. And you know, that's my goal now, is how can I reach more people? And that's why I stay on your podcast. I actually am a guest on a podcast this evening. So I'm trying hard to get this message out. I really am.
I got to tell you, we love you, Dr. Taylor. We'll be replaying this show next Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. We replay it every Wednesday. Dr. Taylor, I love you, bro.
Hey, I love being here, man. Thanks a lot. All right.
Okay.
Thank you for everything.
Love
All
you,
right.
Dr. Eldred Taylor. It's the Taylor Medical Group. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.